everyone, and welcome back to Chaos Creations. We're going to do a painting tutorial video on how I get this sort of concept for the Hive Secundus terrain. As I said, it's very simple to do, and what I'll be doing in this video is a quick painting on how it's done. Now, to cut a few corners, these are 3D printed, printed at 0.2. You can find the files on my Mini Factory. Very easy. So I'm doing some of the Hive Mortalis stuff. This is once again 3D printed, but that'll be for another video later on for something else that I'm doing. So to cut a long story short, you paint it black, and then you give it a heavy dry brush in brown, and then you dry brush in silver, which is where I am now with this. Now, the only difference is the silver, as you can tell, is quite heavy. All right, and the reason is when I put the orange on there, it's going to pop coming off the silver. If I just paint it on the brown, it's really not going to have that sort of nice shine to it. So, yeah, you've got to be reasonably heavy-handed. So I am using this stuff, which is Villaggio. I still don't know what it's being called. But anyway, that's what it is. Now, I'm trying a new thing on my phone. It's like an autofocus, so hopefully it will work and everything looks nice and pretty. So I'm just using an old brush. This thing is, well between its years, and it makes an excellent dry brushing brush. Now, when I use this stuff, I usually just water it down quite a lot, but today it's getting a very, very light amount of water, not much at all, because I've just been refining. Oh my goodness, my water has been leaking. I've been refining it down a little bit. There we go. That's all you need. Just a very small squirt. Let me just mix it in. Right, now when you use this stuff, now I've got a fair amount on there. If I've got too much, this is why I have backups, stuff that I can also whack on there as well. So I want to get a reasonable amount off the brush, but still pretty sloppy. And then just, it's not particularly, I try with these bits on the top, get in there quite a lot, but that's it. It's just a simple case of wiping it around. You can dab it. It's really up to you. You just want to get some nice orange on there. Okay? And that's pretty much how you do. Now, you can tell from the silver, it's mostly covered up now, but it's made the orange come up nice. Now, what you can do is wait for that to dry, and then, go back over it again with a bit more of a non-watered version, just in a few spots. Doesn't even have to be the same spots, to be honest with you. Again. And there you go. You're done. That's that part done. Pretty easy, isn't it? Now, just let me wash out the brush. And that's about as clean as I'm going to get at the moment. And now I've got one from before, which is dried. So there we have it. And what I'll do is I'll just get some of this, which is now nickel oxide, I think it's called, from GW. It's a very watery down type of thing. Now, it's the same sort of process with this. I make sure I get a chunk of it. Actually, what can I use? That one there. So, yes, I use old peanut butter jar lids as like palettes. I'm very professional here, as you can tell. All right. Now, you just dab it on there, get a reasonable amount off your brush, and then, once again, a light sort of scrubbing over it. It doesn't have to be too particular and clean. And this stuff doesn't need to be watered down. It's pretty good the way it is. A bit more there, I think. And there is no rhyme or reason. You just pop it on wherever you feel you want to. Okay, it's a bit dripping off there, so we'll just put that on top. Now, these parts in the particular in the middle there, I try to get them. Oh, that's a lot there. Mr. Chaos, that's a very naughty of you. And then I just try to get that in particular done. Now, what you can do is just go over it with your finger or a tissue. Just wipe it down a bit, if you've gone a bit too hardcore. And that's it. You're done. And that's your terrain finished. Now, we had this bit, which was drying in the background. Let's try that since we have plenty left over. And just, pop that on there. Now, what you can do afterwards, if you really want to, is go over it with the silver again, maybe very fine around some of the edges, just to get that sort of like metal sort of, used look. And that's it. And so that's taking me what's the timer on this thing? It's taking me about 5 minutes to do 2 pieces once they've been undercoated and so forth. So that's it. And it's nice and easy. It looks fine. And you can go a bit more heavier, a bit more lighter. It's really up to you. Now, who says you just have to use it on terrain, though? I mean, if you wanted to, you could just put it onto, well, pretty much anything, really, Anything you like will make that sort of rustic, sort of old, horrible look. It works perfectly fine. And that's a 3D print from my mini factory. Again, this is for like a Necromunda style sort of tank. And it's exactly the same concept. Black, then brown, then silver, and then the orange, and then the sort of the nickelite all over it. And it's a very easy thing to do. Now, the Secundus terrain is very nice, but I've noticed the fact that it's very much the same sort of parts for Zone Mortalis. So I've got this little extra. So what I'll do is I'll just show you, just, whack it on there. All good. And it's a wonderful thing I love about this painting. There is just, there's no real need for high detail stuff. I mean, if you wanted to put little strips of, orange and black on there, you can. But, Secundus has like been underground for the last couple of centuries. So, and this is a good thing to do. And this is something that I've been doing for years. If I've going to use paints, I always have like a backup in somewhere. So if I need to use that same sort of paint, I've got a miniature there or a model or a bit of terrain that I can use as well. And there we go. So, I can knock out all of this terrain in an afternoon, not a problem. Now, I also wanted to tell you something, or 2 other things. Now, I've been asking my local game store for many years to get in some some soap for my brushes. Finally, they got some in, finally. And I mean, I'm sure this stuff has been around the world for freaking years, but my store actually got it in finally. So I'll give this a go. Hopefully we can find out how good it is or how bad it is. I really don't know. But, we'll see how we do. Now, one other thing I want to talk about. I have taken a commission from a friend of mine. Now, I normally don't take commissions, but he has piqued my interest. There's a game out there that came out many years ago, 2000, 20 odd years ago, called Warmaster, which is like epic scale for fantasy battle. Now, here we have some beastmen in 9mm. I don't know if you can see those, but so they're 9mm beastmen, very small, can't get them in focus. Anyway, so this is, that's 6mm, so these are 10mm, so they're a little bit bigger. And he wants me to make some terrain for them, which is interesting. So what I'll be doing over the next month, hopefully not that long, but about a month, to building his terrain. So we're looking at things like little churches. He wants a forest, and he wants some roads. So these like little roads, cobblestones, and all these are normal big prints that I've shrunk down. Now, unfortunately, I don't own any Warmaster miniatures, so I really don't understand the scale per se. I mean, I can say, look, it's a little bit bigger than the 6mm, but without actually miniatures here, I really don't know. So I'm guesstimating that's close to it because it's, they're beastmen against a church, so they look, quite small towards the doors and so forth. So that's what I'm figuring that's going to be it. But that'll keep me busy for the next month. So I might do a couple of warmaster videos. So if you're into warmaster, you'll see some videos coming up of that. Now, there is one final thing I want to talk to you about. I had some people contact me about my last video, and they weren't very happy. They just said, I waffled on, I didn't show anything, I didn't do anything, and it was terrible. And they're right. They're very right. So from now on, you'll get two types of videos. You'll get one, which is me waffling on about stuff that I'm here, stuff there, and so forth. And the other video is me doing something and showing you. So, for example, the orc arm, the one with the claw on it, you'll see me do a video on that, and it'll be me over the course of a month doing like the sanding, the gluing, whatever and such. And I'll make one long video and say orc arm done, completed, and you can watch that instead of me doing one video on the sanding, one video on the gluing, and the one video on this. So it gives you a nice story and progression. Okay, you will get videos of me just waffling on. I mean, I've heard some odd rumors. I need to confirm some of them because some of them just sound so bizarre for GW. It's not funny. I mean, it's the same with this warmaster stuff. I heard a rumor late last year that this was coming back in 2025, 26. And I was like, yeah, warmaster, I don't know what it is. That's nice, no worries. But, we will see. Anyway, any questions, just ask. I hope you enjoy the video. Like and subscribe. Tell your friends. Make a comment. Let me know what you think. This is Chaos signing off. And remember, love the game, love life. Chaos out.